Hello everyone, welcome to the present episode on constructivist based lesson in biology. In the earlier episodes, we have already learnt about how to make a content analysis when we take a certain content from the different content areas of a textbook. Followed by that, we have known how to develop a concept map. Then followed by that, we have done how to make a unit plan. From continuation of that, now we have how to make a lesson plan. In the present episode, we will be discussing about how to chart out a lesson plan based on the constructivist theory. And this lesson is from 7th standard of NCERT textbook and it is respiration in organisms. The present lesson is about why do we respire. When you take the lesson plan into consideration here, we have followed the 5E method of lesson planning, where we have the planning of introduction, development, review and assignment that is given at the end of the lesson. These three components are further divided into engage of the lesson, where the student teacher engages, interacts with the students and usually asks the focus question which will be overarching the whole lesson. Then comes the next aspect of it, which is exploring the different resources that are possible for the content area, and after exploration the students will be explaining, and wherever there is a requirement the student teacher would be bridging the gap and will be scaffolding the students, and the teacher would be doing the hand holding of the students and help them to learn very effectively, and will be engaging them effectively by providing the different resources. Wherever required, the student teacher will bridge in the gap and help the students to learn better. Once that happens, then comes the next phase, that is extend. Whatever the students learn, they have to apply it to the situation that is new to them, but that phase is something where the same conditions under which that they have studied, whatever concept that has been learnt, they have to apply it to the similar kind of situation, but it has to be something new. Then post that there is an evaluation phase where students themselves can evaluate, there can be peer evaluation, there can be evaluation by the student teachers themselves. Once that is done, then there should be an assignment question that should be given at the end of the lesson, and this assignment should be such that there should be of an application level where students should be able to utilize that knowledge that they have gained in this lesson and apply it to a new situation and find out and come back. And this assignment question should be taken up in the next class. It should not be let alone that students have done and student teacher does not attend to this assignment that is being given to the students. Once that is assessed in the next class, it should bridge the gap between the next class and the previous class. Similarly, there should be continuous assessment that should happen throughout the lesson, so that the student teacher has a check on how much the students have learnt. So, in this class we will find all these things that are being executed by one of our student teacher, that is Miss Raga.
So, good morning students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Very good. How are you all?
Hi, ma'am.
Okay, so before going into today's lesson, I will ask you some questions related to your student's life. Okay? So, how many of you are very much punctual in coming to the school? Like you come to school every day with full interest? Huh? Excellent. That is very good. Okay. So, by what means do you generally come to school, or by like which transport, or by how do you generally come to school?
Mom, bike.
You come in bike. Very good.
Cycle.
Cycle. Very good.
Mom, I'll come in van.
Van. Okay.
Even I come in van.
Van. Okay.
Vehicle.
Vehicle.
Van.
Van. Okay. So, in all these means of transport, by all these means of transport, you generally come to school. So, after coming to school, what are the activities that you perform in the school? Can you just list out some activities? Let me see how many of you get more than 5 activities that you come and do in the school. Make a point of it. The activities you perform after coming to school. Okay? I'll give you some 30 seconds. Let me see how many of you get more than 5. Just write point wise, no need to write sentence or something. The activities that you perform after coming to school. Okay, how many of you got two activities? All of you got 2 activities. Okay, very good. Okay, can you tell me what are the activities you perform?
Mom, I'll read in the school. I'll
Okay.
write.
Right,
Sometimes we'll sing and dance.
we'll sing and dance. Okay.
Then I'll discuss with my friends about my everyday things.
Okay, you share your thoughts, you ask doubts, etc. Okay. Any other activities other than what she has written in your notebook?
Mom, playing.
Playing, very good.
Sometimes we'll crack jokes.
Okay, you crack jokes. Okay. So these are the different activities you perform after coming to school. So now tell me, what is the most common thing that you need to do all these activities to the fullest of your ability, or to do it in the maximum strength you can do? What is the common thing you need? Yeah.
Mom, energy.
Very good. You need energy to perform all the activities after coming to school. Okay, so this group answered one. When you tell me, from where does this energy come to us?
Cells.
Cells. Okay. Does the cell give energy on its own, or it has to come from some place?
It has to come from some place.
Yeah, it has to come from.
Mom, from food. Mom.
Yes, very good. So we get the energy from the food we eat. Like she said, it goes to the cell and then it is used for all the activities. Right? Okay. So who can explain me what is a cell? Yeah.
Cell is a structural and functional unit of an organism.
Excellent. That is the scientific definition which we have to use for cells. It is a structural and functional unit of life. Okay. So what do you mean by this structural and functional unit? She has answered one. Now you ask.
Mom, it's a basic unit, mom.
Okay.
Everything is made up of cells in our body.
Okay, so everything is made up of cells in our body, and it is the basic structure which can live independently, and it will do all the functions of a living organism. What are these functions of a living organism? Yeah.
Respiration,
Respiration,
excretion,
digestion, very good. So we said that the cell is a basic and structural unit of our life which will do all the functions of a living organism. So now let me show you a picture. You have to tell me what can you observe. I'll show first to this group, okay? What is it that you can observe in this picture?
Fire.
Fire, okay. Anything else which you can tell from the picture? Fire is because of?
Ma'am, the wood is burning.
Okay, the wood is burning. Anything else other than the observations what the group A has made? Like what can you observe in the picture other than wood burning? Any other terms which you can use?
Heat is produced.
Yes, heat is produced. Anything else?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide produced. Very good. So we can see light also, no, the flames?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in this picture you can see that heat and light are being produced. What are these heat and light? What is heat and what is light? Is it a form of mass? Is it a form of energy?
Ma'am, it is
Energy. Very good. So it is a form of energy. So like how a fuel which is giving us the heat and light is burning to give energy, something should be there in our food item, no, which can give us this energy by undergoing some process. So there is a fuel in the food which will give us the energy. Do you know what is that fuel? Like how the coal or the wood you said it is fuel. Some fuel is there in our food items which is giving the energy which we need. It starts with the letter G.
Glucose.
Very good. So it is the glucose, that is the fuel in our food. Now, anybody knows the structure of glucose or the chemical formula of glucose? Okay, you said.
Ma'am, it's in the powder.
Okay, it's in the powder form when we
sugar
see in
powder.
our daily lives. Okay, I just tell you that it's a 6 carbon molecule. Okay, it's a big molecule. So, what is your favorite food item, Monica?
Ma'am, dosa.
Okay, dosa. So, if a complete dosa is given to you, will you be able to swallow it in one go?
No, ma'am.
So, what will you do to that dosa to eat it and have the taste of the dosa?
Ma'am, we will piece it.
Very good. So, you will cut the dosa into small pieces and then swallow it. So, I said you that glucose is a big molecule. So, will it undergo, or will it get absorbed in our body as such, or it has to undergo some process?
Some
Then it will break down.
Yes, very good. So glucose has to break down to give us what?
energy.
Very good. It breaks down to give us energy. Okay. So this process of breaking down glucose to give us energy has a scientific term. What is the scientific term? Like she said some functions of the cell. In that she had mentioned. Yes.
Respiration.
Very good. This is respiration. Somebody said me digestion, huh?
Ma'am, it's me.
Okay, digestion, no, it is a bit different from respiration because digestion mainly deals with intake of food. Like if you're given with the food, you will absorb the food and then the food will undergo some process and then we'll like get the final product of the food. Respiration is from the food you get the energy is the process of respiration. Now who can define me the respiration like complete sentence with full confidence? Who can like define respiration? You try. I'll help you out.
Breakdown of glucose to produce energy.
Yes, very good. So the process of breaking down of glucose to give us the energy is called as respiration. Now, like we know that the living organisms are made up of cells. So the cell will perform all the functions of a living organism, right? So does it like do the respiration also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what will you tell the term for the cell respiring?
Ma'am, cellular respiration.
Exactly. So when the respiration is happening in our cells, it is called as cellular respiration. Very good. So we have reached the introduction of our unit, that is respiration in organisms. So when I tell respiration in organisms, does respiration happen the same way in all organisms, or there is some differences? There are some differences. So today we learn about some of the types of respiration or how the respiration varies in different organisms. Okay? You might already know some of them, but we'll take it in a detailed manner. Now this is group A and this is group B. Okay? Like I have two handouts for you. One is one type of respiration that I'll give to this group. Another is second type of anaerobic respiration. So before I give you the types of respiration, I'll just tell you that there are two types of respiration. What are these?
Aerobic respiration.
Anaerobic. Okay, so aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now I'll give you 2 minutes time. You have to discuss the handout in your groups and explain. One person should explain me what you understood from the handout. Okay? Your time starts now. You have 2 minutes to discuss with your group mates.
And it releases carbon dioxide, alcohol and energy. It occurs in the presence of oxygen. It is called as the definition of respiration. And yeast uses anaerobic breakdown of glucose occurs in the presence
Any doubts you have?
No.
Okay, it is easy to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, so we'll first ask one person to explain about one point in aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Okay, what is the first point in yours?
Ma'am, aerobic respiration, it's a respiration where the oxygen is used to break down the glucose.
Okay, very good. So it is in the presence of oxygen or oxygen is needed or oxygen is consumed in the process. Very good. What is the same point in anaerobic respiration? Like what is the complementary point?
It's
Oxygen is not needed.
Very good. Here oxygen is needed and here oxygen is
Not
absent or not needed. Now second point in aerobic.
And glucose breakdowns in the presence of oxygen to produce carbon dioxide plus water and energy.
Okay, so the products of aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide. You know the formula of carbon dioxide?
Yes, ma'am.
CO2. And then what we get? Other products?
Water,
Water,
H2O.
H2O.
okay, H2O, and then we get the major product, that is energy. What are the byproducts in anaerobic respiration? Yeah.
Carbon dioxide,
Huh.
alcohol
Huh.
and energy.
So what is different in aerobic and anaerobic?
Ma'am,
it needs.
Yeah.
Ma'am, here water is there, but there alcohol.
Very good. Here water is there. In anaerobic we get alcohol and then energy. Okay. Now third point, aerobic respiration.
Mom, it occurs in humans.
Okay, one example of a aerobic respiration happens in humans, and in anaerobic
It happens in cells.
it happens in which
Yeast.
cells? Yeast cells. Okay, it happens in yeast cells. Okay. So can you write the complete equation if I give you this kind of products, oxygen and all?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so Monica, tell me the equation for aerobic.
Ma'am, O2.
Okay. Okay, in the presence of O2,
Yes, ma'am.
glucose,
Plus O2
is
is CO2
CO2
plus H2
plus H2O
plus energy.
plus energy. Very good. What is the equation for anaerobic? Shashidhar? Oh, aerobic, anaerobic is this group, no? Okay, you tell.
Glucose
Glucose,
in the absence of oxygen.
glucose in the absence of oxygen,
It produces carbon dioxide
it produces carbon dioxide
plus alcohol
plus alcohol
and energy.
plus energy. Very good. So, if you get a question like differentiate between aerobic and anaerobic respiration, will you be able to do it easily?
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, okay. Now give me back the handouts. I'll just ask you some questions related to the two types of respiration. So, you were discussing about aerobic respiration, you were discussing about anaerobic respiration. Now, I'll give you a statement related to their group and I'll give you a statement related to their group, so that you have to tell me why is it happening like that, or what is the reason behind the statement. So, you had aerobic respiration, no? So, I'll ask a question related to aerobic respiration to your group. I am telling you the statement that breathing is a part of aerobic respiration, or breathing is a part of respiration. You have to discuss in your group, tell me whether the statement is correct and why is it so. Okay, breathing is a part of respiration. Okay, just discuss with your group and tell me. In anaerobic respiration, I want you to tell me whether yeast can be used in some industry.
Alcohol, Mom, we are ready.
Okay.
We are ready.
You ready? All of you know the answer? You have discussed in your group completely?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, breathing is a part of respiration. We'll ask them how they are able to infer that statement. Okay. Who will tell me? You can tell me? Yeah.
Mom, it's correct, ma'am, because oxygen is used. We are inhaling oxygen, so
Okay.
respiration is a breathing is a part of respiration.
Okay. So, we are using oxygen in aerobic respiration. This from where does we get this oxygen from?
Ma'am, we breathe.
Okay, while breathing from the
Air.
So we get oxygen from air, which we have to breathe in and then use for the aerobic respiration. So breathing is a part of respiration. You know, this is a major misconception in many of the people, that breathing and respiration are the same. But you have to tell them that breathing is different from respiration and breathing is a part of respiration. Okay? It is only one small part of respiration, because starting the oxygen which we have to use, we get from breathing. That is a part. Now, anaerobic respiration. What is the use of yeast, or in which industry is it used in?
Mom, it is used in baking industries and all.
Okay, very good. So this is used in baking industry and any other industries?
Ma'am,
wine.
Very good. Wine making, alcohol. Okay, so majorly we can tell that it is used in baking and brewing industry. You have heard this word? Brewing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so this making of wine, making of alcohol, all this kind of industries is called as brewing industry. So mainly it is used in baking and brewing industry. You tell me how?
Because it has a product of alcohol as in its respiration.
Okay, so it has alcohol in the process of anaerobic respiration. Any other answer?
Mom, in baking industry, because carbon dioxide will make the bread dough cake fluffy.
Yes, very good. So not only alcohol is used, but the carbon dioxide which is produced also can be used for making that duff rice in making of the batter, or in baking industry where the bread has to become fluffy in nature. Okay? Any other point? Okay, so mainly the yeast is used in baking and brewing industry. Now you tell me, in human beings, have you seen anywhere where anaerobic respiration is happening? We said that humans are examples of aerobic respiration. Have you seen anywhere in our human body where anaerobic respiration is happening?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is it?
Ma'am, muscle cramps.
Okay, very good. So this humans is not only the example of aerobic respiration, it can be used for anaerobic also, because we have anaerobic respiration in our muscles. When does, usually in our body all the cells will take cellular, that is aerobic respiration only. Only in certain places we have the cell taking up anaerobic respiration. Where do you think it happens?
Ma'am, when we exercise a lot or
Okay, she's telling when we exercise a lot, then our cells undergo anaerobic respiration. What is happening actually?
Ma'am, we are tired, ma'am.
We are tired, so we don't get that much what?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. When we are tired or when we are overworking ourselves, then we do not get that much oxygen into our body. So at that time, our muscles has to undergo anaerobic respiration. That is with very less amount of oxygen or without any oxygen. But do you think we'll get the same products?
no, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
because we are not taking oxygen. So what do you think we'll get if we have anaerobic respiration in our muscles?
Lactic acid.
Very good. That is the one difference between anaerobic respiration in yeast and anaerobic respiration in our muscles. The byproduct which is formed because of muscle cramps is not alcohol, it is lactic acid. And this lactic acid, when it is accumulating, no, when it is there in our body where it is anaerobic respiration is going on, it will have cramps. Like we'll have so much of pain, then we'll have to undergo so much oxygen intake and aerobic respiration to get back into our normal cellular respiration. And do you think yeast undergoes aerobic respiration? No? You don't think so? But actually no, when yeast is given with lot of oxygen, like oxygen is maximum in the environment of yeast, it can undergo aerobic respiration also, but most probably we give the yeast in an anaerobic respiration manner so that we can get the products of baking and brewing industry. Okay? Now I'll rub this off and I'll ask you some questions so that we can understand how much you have learned from this lesson. Okay? It will be like one question to A group and then one question to B group. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You should not make noise or something. You should have like just raise your hands and tell me who knows the answer. And there will be points for it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Like we'll have it like a quiz. Okay. So which is A group? A. You're A or B?
A.
Okay. A group and then B group. Okay. So I'll ask the questions in a little bit fast manner so that you have to guess the answer very fast. Okay. So which is a structural and basic unit of life? A.
Cell.
Okay. You said in together. So I'll cut half marks and give you half. You should tell one at a time. Okay. Raise your hands and tell one answer. Now B group. Why cell is called a structural and basic unit of life?
Ma'am, because everything is made up of cells.
Everything is made up of cells and
Ma'am, it only gives energy needed to the body.
okay. So but what was a like correct statement for
Every
structural?
activities will be done
Carried
by
out.
Yes, that is the main thing you have to tell. It is the independent structure which can survive and then it is the basic unit which can do all the functions of a living organism. So I'll also give you half because two of you answered together. Now you're on the same pace. Now, what is mean by cellular respiration? One person, yeah.
Ma'am, the respiration which occurs in the cells.
Okay, the respiration which occurs in the cells is called as cellular respiration. Very good. What is anaerobic respiration?
Without oxygen, yeast can also respire.
Okay. You need not tell specifically yeast. Any organism which can undergo respiration without the oxygen intake is called as anaerobic respiration. It need not be like you can tell the example as yeast, but you need not tell that yeast undergoes anaerobic respiration. Other organisms also undergoes anaerobic respiration, which I will give you as assignment. Like there are organisms which can undergo anaerobic respiration only, and there are organisms which can undergo aerobic and anaerobic respiration. That you have to find out and come in the next class. Okay? So we have discussed our assignment for the next class. That is, you have to tell me the organisms which can undergo only anaerobic and the organisms which can undergo both aerobic and anaerobic. So you have told the correct answer. So we will give you 1. Okay. Now I'll ask the question to group A. What are the byproducts other than energy in aerobic respiration? 1%.
carbon dioxide and water.
Very good. Carbon dioxide and water. What are the 3 products in anaerobic respiration? Yeah.
Ma'am, carbon dioxide, lactic acid plus energy.
Okay, that is in our muscle cramps. In yeast, alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. Okay, I'll give you 1 because she told about muscle cramps and I asked you again another question. Okay. So what are the examples of aerobic respiration?
Human.
Humans. Okay. And what are the examples of anaerobic respiration? Yes.
Yeast.
Yeast and in human beings where does this happen?
Muscle.
Very good. In yeast and muscle cramps. So I think you're all like very good with the lesson. Almost both of you got 3.5 I think. The group which comes with the answer for the aerobic organisms and both aerobic and anaerobic organisms will have the final point and they will be like winning in the next class. Okay. So in this class we have learned about respiration, cellular respiration, aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, and the examples for aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Okay?